So where are we at in the notes?
So right now we're starting to kind of hit on page 2 of our notes. So we talked about WrestleMania, and we touched a little bit on one or two of these points that are on the list here. The mixed match challenge, and we're uh, coming back around to some of the ones that we skipped over here. The ultimate deletion match. So this week on Raw, we saw the ultimate deletion match between Bray and Matt Hardy, Woken Matt Hardy. For starters, what are your thoughts on the Woken Matt versus Broken Matt? Do you think that he's uh, given you the storyline and I guess the aspects of the persona that we all thought were great in the TNA storylines?
That's a good question. I think I prefer TNA's version a
Just
little
because
better.
it was original?
It was original and it was basically just Matt Hardy. Like, the WWE writers are putting their input and probably tweaking things. And I think it's suffering a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're just now about to start to see um, Brother Nero. We just saw Brother Nero for the first time, or whatever they're going to refer to
Hmm.
Jeff as during the new story. Um, we got to see Rebecca and Senior Benjamin and Maxwell and Wolfgang as kids make appearances, and in the vignettes leading up to it, we got to see George Washington, his giraffe,
Yeah.
and Skarsgård, the dilapidated flatboat, and uh, I mean, I liked the way that they were telling up this storyline. There was little moments of the match that gave me a feel of that. What was it? The House of Horrors or whatever that
Yeah.
um,
Randy Orton and
Randy Orton and Bray did last year. Um, but I thought that this one definitely was a lot better of a match. You know that it didn't seem like the shitty magician who was like, "Watch me pull a magic rabbit out of my hat. Look over there, a wolf."
right.
Whoop. you
Yeah.
know. The I liked how he brought into play a lot of uh, the inanimate objects around him, the mower of lawns and Vanguard, the drone,
Hmm.
and the house of deletion or whatever, the arena of deletion. I forget exactly what he called that room
Hmm.
or that shed where he had the second ring set up. Um, uh, in all, we saw Bray lose, and he went into the lake of reincarnation. And when Senior Benjamin went to go try and pull him out, he was nowhere to be found.
Hmm.
And we didn't hear anything from Bray until yesterday. He left a cryptic tweet that said, "I feel you fading. I faded you. You failed me. Don't leave me. Not in this place."
I wonder if that's to JoJo. No, I'm joking. Um, okay, so I will say that I like the deletion from TNA because I remember the first scene from that. Remember the referee pulls up and he's like, "What the hell? Like, what am I getting myself into?" I thought that was such a cool moment when that happened. But as far as the Ultimate Deletion, the WWE version, I thought it was great that they had all the old characters back.
Yeah.
Like you didn't know that was gonna happen, and they all came back. And I think it's a genius way to repackage Bray Wyatt.
Yes. Yeah. Bray
They
has
need to
been
do something with him.
Right.
Bray has been suffering for the past few years to where, in my opinion, in our opinion, we have spoke about it on numerous previous shows that what we wanted to see was Bray as like this unstoppable force and having this stable of monsters, slash followers that anything that he wanted, he could have snapped his fingers and, they come in and destroy, and then he basically just sits down on top of them. 1, 2, 3, you're done.
Right.
Yeah, they really messed up with that Bray character. I'm interested to see what they do with him. Does he still come out in like the same garb, just slightly changing his viewpoint? Is this just another way for them to further him down the rabbit hole? Do they put Bray into the Woken universe, to where he is now Woken Bray Wyatt?
Kind of like the Brother Nero kind of thing. To where it be Brother Wyatt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would prefer something like that. Like, I don't want to see Bray Wyatt as, like a new profession. Like, I don't want to see him as, like, Duke the Dumpster Drozy next or something like that.
Right.
Or like, hey, I'm an electrician. Or, like, he doesn't need a whole new gimmick. I think he needs, like you were saying, to be part of that camp now. Like, to be part of
He needs
Woken
to
Matt.
be a follower,
Yeah.
not a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what they do with Bray Wyatt. I've always been a fan of his. I just didn't like what WWE was doing with the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think that we're going to? When do you think that we're going to see this new Bray? Do you think we're going to see him at WrestleMania, or do you think that they're going to wait until maybe the Raw after? Or
I wouldn't mind seeing it, like, the longer the better, away, kind of. I wouldn't mind seeing it after WrestleMania and maybe just in a couple months. Like, keep him off of TV for a couple months, keep him off of live shows, and then when he appears, it's going to be a bigger thing. Because I feel like if he already appears next week, it's almost like, wait.
It better be something big if that's that soon.
Right. So I hope that they wait on it for a while, as long as they can.
yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to see him disappear for a month or two,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden he shows back up. And I think that it would be cool if he was in Matt's corner all of a sudden, to where Matt has some sort of match, whether it be him facing the Miz or somebody, for some belt or
Right.
some feud of importance, and then all of a sudden, the lights go out, lights come back on, and there's Bray Wyatt in the ring.
You know what else you could do? Is you could have Woken Matt Hardy and Woken Bray as a tag team, and then Jeff, when he comes back, do his own singles thing,
Yeah,
and see how that tag team turns out.
yeah. There's a number of ways that they can bring that character.
Mm-hmm.
Bray is a good guy on the ring, on the mic, and he's good in the ring. So it's just where you tell that storyline that leaves the question. Let's see. There was talk that we have now seen the final brand extended pay-per-view. That Backlash was supposedly the final brand exclusive
Mm-hmm.
pay-per-view. Now they're going to just do one pay-per-view a month, and it would be both brands. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it has plus and minus for both sides, because the minus would be for the talent, like, say, like Fandango and Tyler Breeze, guys that I feel like once you start clumping everyone together, people start falling off, and there's not
Yeah.
much of a chance for them. But for another side, I feel that now the pay-per-views maybe won't be as watered down as they are sometimes.
Yeah, it seems like they because they were trying to tell storylines, enough content to fill a 3 or 4 hour pay per view from Raw and a 3 or 4 hour pay per view from SmackDown. That they were losing some of the, they were rushing a storyline that could have lasted a year or 2 years,
Right.
out in a matter of a month or 3.
Yeah. So I like the idea of just having both brands on each pay-per-view.
I mean, really, y'all said it all. I'm tired of them having 2 pay-per-views a month. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a little bit too much TV for me to watch.
Right.
I mean, we talked about it earlier to where, I don't really get to take advantage of NXT so much. That really the big things that I watch is the takeovers and, I like 205 Live. I don't really get to religiously watch it every week.
Right.
Just because I've got so much that I'm trying to cover with wrestling, with not just WWE. I mean, you got Wildcat. Recently, I found where I can watch Ring of Honor every week on TV.
Where can you find that Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor.
That's on charge.
Yeah, if you don't have cable over the rabbit ears, you get a channel called Charge.
Charge. Okay.
And they have.
Do they do a
Ring of
weekly
Honor.
show?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Sundays, I'm pretty sure. And they do like an hour and a half, something like that, and it's been pretty entertaining. Let's see. So with Wrestling Week, we have NXT Takeover, which is coming up on. It's going to be on Friday at the Smoothie King Arena. Do you have any thoughts on any of the matches that you see listed here?
I feel like it's gonna be a good show. I don't watch as much NXT as I would like to. Like you, I watch every takeover and stuff, but I don't really know too much about the characters and everything besides when I watch for the takeovers. But I feel like if I'm looking here, they have 4 matches set, and I think they'll also have the Dusty Rhodes tag team bracket, right?
Well, no, that was that took place. So the third match that's listed here on my cheat sheet here is that match.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, but I'm saying you have 4 matches here. They're all going to probably go a good amount of time, 20 minutes, and they're all going to be good matches. So I think if you go to that live show or if you watch it, it's going to be entertaining, and they're going to put on a hell of a show.
Well, I think that this is a good time to ask, what all events are you looking to attend during Wrestling Week?
Okay, so let's see. Let's get this other cheat sheet of yours that you have out here. So we're going to the Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad.
Yes.
That's going to be, I really feel like that could steal the show from a lot of these things. Like, I think that's going to be fun. It's going to be Bruce telling stories that he can't tell on the podcast, they say. Plus, I think it's going to be question and answers. And I think they're also going to bring out, like, a live guest.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have somebody like I don't know, like either a JR or, a Stone Cold.
Pat Patterson.
Pat Patterson.
Right. And
yes.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun. That's on the Saturday. I see that Wrestlecon is at the Sheraton. I wouldn't mind just going over there to kind of check that out. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I had a good time when I went last time. I went to 2 different days of it. I would probably only go to one day and just figure out what the hell I want to see on that day and try and get all my autographs and, purchases that I want to make, pictures.
Does like when you walk in there, do they have like music playing or anything, or is it just like?
No, from what I remember, like in the when they last time that WrestleMania was here, the whole WrestleCon thing was going on at the Sugar Mill,
Okay.
and just like on one of the evenings, or maybe each evening, like around like 4 o'clock, they started to clear out an area and they built a ring and set it up, and then basically like Wildcat or Lucha Underground, somebody had some sort of indie wrestling event
Okay.
at the over there. This year, from what it looks like, they've split it up to where there's the convention side of it, which is all going to be at the Sheraton,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the wrestling show side of it, which will all take place at the Sugar Mill.
Okay.
Now with the at the Sheraton, that's where you can go in and you get to see all the wrestlers and do a meet and greet with them. If you haven't looked at the list of people who are on that list so far, I definitely recommend that you do take a look at it, because you have like last time we did a podcast, we rattled through a list of some of the big names,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that some of it's kind of shaken around with either people who have gotten injured or maybe people who have changed over their federation allegiance, shall we call it, to where, hey, I'm now in a contract with WWE, I have to stick to
Right.
Axxess.
Yeah, so I'm looking right now, and I know different days, have different stars, but Shawn Michaels, Tommy Dreamer, Bret Hart, Rock and Roll Express, Christian, Bubba Ray, Sting, Ric Flair, DDP, Trish, Lita, your girl, Psycho Sid, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see,
Stone Cold,
Mick
Foley.
Brutus, the fucking Barber Beefcake.
Yeah.
The Steiner Brothers, Demolition, Jackie, Larry Zbyszko. Yeah, so Lex Luger, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you've got it's literally a who's who of wrestling that's going to be at WrestleCon. Now, the thing is with me, if I go to it, I'm probably not going to go to see the Stone Cold or the Shawn Michaels or Hitman Hart or anyone like that.
Right.
I'd probably prefer to go see almost the B-rate stars.
Yeah. They might be a lot more personable, too.
Yeah, I mean, well, for starters, the big names, like to get a picture with Stone Cold, you're looking at probably $100.
Yeah.
At a minimum. With a lot of the B-rate stars per se, you're looking at possibly 15, 20, maybe $30 to get a meet and greet with them. And I think that you'll get a lot more time to actually talk with that person other than just, hey, smile real pretty.
Right, yeah, real
All
fast.
right, next.
Yep.
I'd much rather be able to get that chance to, I mean, I'm not talking about bringing them out on an elaborate date or anything, but I mean, at least get to ask them, hey, what was your thoughts on this match or,
Right.
This storyline? And with some of the guys, if you haven't checked it out, go and look at their website, Wrestlecon.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can see the list of all the stars, and you want to pay attention to their schedules, because you also do need to remember there's some guys, like I saw you flipping through, and I saw the Godfather.
Yeah.
He's scheduled to where, like, on one of the days, he's going to be in the Papa Shango
That's
gear.
neat.
On the other day, he'll be the Godfather. I'm sure that there's other guys in that list
Yeah.
who, you know, like on one day they're going to be there as, you
Big.
know, like N.W. Sting, you know, versus
If
the next day.
N.W. Sting charges more than $10, that would be ridiculous. But yeah, they have the Godfather, Ken Shamrock, Jimmy Hart, Dan the Beast Severn. Remember him? Wow. Yeah, they got John Cena's dad is gonna be
Yeah,
there.
John Cena's dad.
John Cena Sr.
I don't want to
wrong.
see him either.
Ron Simmons. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on. It's kind of like the who's who if you're not at WrestleMania.
Yeah, if you're not a currently signed to a lockdown WWE exclusive contract, you're probably at WrestleMania. At WrestleCon.
Yeah.
If you are a face from the wrestling community, like that's the HTM.
Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, HTM will be there.
Yeah, Honky Tonk will be there. So yeah, definitely check out the schedules, and I know that a lot of them you can do pre-orders to get your signature or photo opportunities with these guys. And I'd probably recommend that you do the pre-purchase, because I'd have to imagine, and I'm pretty certain that they're doing it to where if you pre-purchase, it's almost the equivalent of getting like that fast pass at Disneyland. Because that was one of the big things that I did also have complaints with that and with Axxess, is that I felt like 3/4 of my time that I was at those functions, I was a cow. I was standing in line.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like I didn't get the opportunity to see as much of what they had to offer at those conventions. So I mentioned Axxess. Axxess will be going on all weekend. This week they released the meet and greet schedules for all the superstars there.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'd recommend that if you're planning on going to Axxess and you're looking to meet a particular superstar, go check out that website and see. The Hall of Fame ceremony, that's Saturday night. We were talking about it right before the show, that if we wanted to go to that, we would literally need to go to something to wrestle. And the millisecond that they say thank you and good night and stand up, we would need to run out of the building, jump in an Uber, and haul ass over to the arena to see the Hall of Fame ceremony. The people being inducted with the Hall of Fame ceremony. We got Goldberg, which I guess was expected.
And they came out saying Paul Heyman's going to induct him.
Oh, they did officially say that?
Yeah, officially said it today.
Let's see. So, Paul Heyman inducting Goldberg. Dudley Boys. They're being inducted by Edge and Christian. And I've been hearing rumor that they also want the Hardys to be involved in that as well, just because the combination of those three told so many great stories with the TLC matches.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ivory's being inducted. Molly Holly is going to be doing her induction speech. Jeff Jarrett. This one surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Mainly just because if you're not a super wrestling freak like us, Jeff Jarrett started TNA about a decade ago, and he's never really had a great repertoire with WWE. He was in WWE for a very short while when he was doing the Double J with the guitar and all that. But I remember him much more from his time in WCW and in TNA than anything else.
Yeah.
So to see him getting inducted, that's a huge deal.
I think the biggest thing with that is he gonna sing. Is him and Road Dogg maybe gonna sing "Be with My Baby Tonight"? Remember that song? Can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. I
Who do you
hope that
think
they
does
sing.
his induction?
I think Road Dogg maybe, because Road Dogg, he's like one of the lead riders, and he was the roadie for him back in the day.
Yeah.
So maybe they have Road Dogg induct him.
Yeah, I'd see Road Dogg or maybe Bischoff.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one to see. J.J. Robertson, that's the Warrior Award recipient this year. So Dana Warrior will be inducting him. Hillbilly Jim. Now, this is the one that actually strikes up the big conversation. You mentioned seeing Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Wanting to see Hulk Hogan
Yes.
at WrestleMania. Well, there's talk that Hillbilly Jim is pretty insistent on wanting Hogan to induct him to the Hall of Fame.
Okay. So I have a couple issues with this. Now, I know that's what Hillbilly Jim wants. Hey, he's the one that's going in the Hall of Fame. But I feel like, so if Hulk Hogan does that, it almost becomes more about Hulk Hogan than Hillbilly Jim. You know, like everybody's going to be going nuts. Yeah, Hogan's back, Hogan's back. Oh, yeah, Hillbilly Jim, make your speech. You know, kind of thing. Like, it kind of steals his thunder. And I feel like for Hulk Hogan to return, I mean, this is friggin' Hulk Hogan. This is the greatest draw, I'd say, ever in wrestling. I feel like he's got to have that WrestleMania return and not just going to the podium and saying, oh, Hillbilly Jim was a great wrestler, and now he's the next inductee to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I'd like to see Hogan at either a Raw or a WrestleMania first.
Right.
Before going in and inducting him, just because of the big craze that it's going to create.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that Hogan also needs to be accepted back into the WWE vernacular.
Right.
You know, they
and I feel
when
like
they
they're
tried to
slowly-
erase him from their history per se,
Mhm.
that's the equivalent of erasing Jesus from the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, without Hogan, there is no WWE.
Right.
No matter how much Vince wants to think that it's all him and that he created these characters, without having somebody as personable as Hulk Hogan in the early 80s, all the way up until like last year or whatever when he got kicked out for the Gawker shit. I mean, without him, you don't have WWE today.
Agreed.
And he needs to be brought back in under the acceptance. You know, I mean, the things that he said on his sex tape. You know, while I don't feel that we should be punishing of him for those things because it was on a personal tape.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and while they are deplorable things that he said, I think that he has honestly learned his lesson, shall we say?
Right.
You know, and that he deserves a second shot.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Yeah. You know, just based off of the fact that he made that much history in WWE, to ignore him is a disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Kid Rock. Kid Rock is being elected into the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm not sure who's going to be inducting him. I have to imagine that it would probably be either Undertaker or someone whose music he did at some point.
Yeah. I mean, musician-wise, I think it's a good choice. They said he's performed more than any other artist, like live for WWE. He's gone a tribute to the troops with them and performed. So I think that's a slam dunk from the celebrity wing.
Yeah. Yeah, he is definitely one of those celebrities that deserves to be in.
Mm.
And yeah, he's just as much a WWE character as, say, like a Big Show or hell, even Mark Henry, who's the next person who's on the list.
Yeah.
Again, they haven't announced who he's going to be inducted by. But if I had to guess, it would probably be like Ron Simmons or someone who was in Nation and Domination with him.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I know he's good friends with Big Show, so maybe Big Show could induct him if it's not somebody from the Nation. But I feel like Mark Henry was one of those guys when he first came in. He didn't know what the heck he was doing, and they still had him in like all his red, white, and blue because of the Olympics and everything like that. But he rose when he became like characters, when he was Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, that was some of the best stuff still today. Yeah. And then the Hall of Pain was cool. And then that one thing when he was going to retire and with John Cena, remember?
Right, yeah. When he came out and he was like crying, saying, I thank y'all so much. And it was like, holy shit. Like, I was crying at that moment.
Yeah.
Just because it was like, holy shit, I've been watching, you know, it almost felt like I'd been watching Mark Henry my entire life.
Right.
And it's like, oh, it's a shame that he's going to be leaving wrestling.
Yeah, and then it was just a swerve.
Yeah, he swerves on everybody. And Hall of Pain, or fucking, what was it, World's Strongest Slam?
Yeah.
He World's Strongest slams John Cena in the middle of the ring and says, "Bitch, you just got put in the Hall of Pain, motherfucker."
Right. So I think Mark Henry definitely deserving.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else from the WWE stand? So we had broken off on this to ask, what all events do you see yourself going to? So WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'll probably go. Like I'd say there's a 75% chance I go.
Yeah, there's a good 80 or 90% chance that I'm going to WrestleMania.
I'm thinking not so much.
NXT TakeOver.
I don't see myself going because I feel like tickets are already sold out.
Yeah,
so
I think they are.
I think I could catch that on the network and maybe because that's going to be on the Friday night.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like there's another like cool show or something happening on Friday night that I could go to then.
Well, I know that Kevin Nash has his big party.
Yeah, I'm not going to that either. It's like $200 to hang out with Kevin Nash.
Yeah, with Kevin Nash and probably Scott Hall.
You can stand on the balcony and throw some beads.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't. I think I've said this on the last podcast. He doesn't seem like the friendliest guy, and he kind of seems like just take your money and walk the other way.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't do that either.
Definitely not someone to host an event.
That would possibly be a good opportunity to go to Axxess.
Yes.
WWE
Axxess.
Axxess.
I was in my truck today, and I was driving, and I didn't go to Axxess the last time it was here. Like, we just went into the
we went into the shop.
Yeah, we went to
that's where we saw Rosenberg and young Sam Roberts.
Yeah, Sam Roberts was buying a Mr. T-shirt. I still remember that. But so we didn't go to Axxess last time, and I was riding today, and I saw their billboard for Axxess, and I feel like I'm just going to check it out this year. Like, I don't know what day.
Yeah.
But you know what? I might just go to see.
I'd recommend...
like, if I'm off of
work...
Look
at the schedule to see who all's signing then.
Yeah.
And maybe set your sights on, like, one of those people to actually get their autograph.
Yeah.
And make sure that you give yourself an opportunity to go check out the other exhibits. Like, that year that I went, they had the graveyard set up of all the souls and holes from the Undertaker's streak. They had a thing to where you could come out on the ramp, on like the WWE ramp, and have like Daniel Bryan's music playing or like John Cena's music. I assume that they're gonna have that again. They had, all the meet and greets. They had an NXT corner where, if I remember correctly, like they had matches going pretty much the entire time that I was there
That's cool.
in that NXT match or that NXT ring.
So how long would you say like you stay at Axxess for?
Well, when you buy tickets, it's like a 4 hour
Window
it's,
kind of
yeah,
thing?
it's like a 4 or 5 hour window, and you only had during that time, it's like once that like it might be 1 to 5 or something like that. In between that time and the next time, there may be like an hour, hour and a half where that section or access is closed, so they empty it out
Oh, okay.
to make sure that you're not just hanging in there for 12 hours.
Right.
So it's very important, in my opinion, to make sure that you leave some time to see everything that's in there, because they have that's where they have like the unofficial true Hall of Fame, where they have all like the memorabilia to where you can see the old belts and old ring gear and stuff like that from classic matches or classic wrestlers. I mean, there's the the meet and greets with everybody. There's little aspects of seeing how WWE is made. Like for the kids, they have a ring, or they have ring ropes set up that you dove into, like one of those foam pits or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They had a ladder to where you could take like a photo op, and it looked like you and Kofi Kingston were climbing up the ladder to get the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to do within that that convention space. So don't get locked up in spending $40 to wait in line the entire time. Kind of like what we saw at the pre-WrestleMania party, to where there was people they got there when the doors opened, and they spent their entire time just waiting in line to meet Mark Henry and Mickey James and I think the Hardys
and your boy who's got kids.
Oh, Heath Slater, baby. Heath Slater. Let's see. One of the other events I know of, the Jim Ross Uncensored Slobber Knocker sessions. That's actually going to be in Kenner at the Hilton Garden Inn. It's $85, but that includes your ticket to get into his event. You get a copy of his latest book. You get a bottle of his barbecue seasoning, and you get a meet and greet with him to where you can get an autograph and a photo op.
Yeah. So we went to see Jim Ross's show last time. Went for WrestleMania. I feel like we've seen the show.
Yeah, I can't imagine. While yes, he was in the business for a very long time. I'd have to imagine that a lot of the stories that he tells at this thing are going to be very similar to the stories that he told at our show.
And it was an entertaining show. I'm just saying I just wouldn't go again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to go pay $85 to hear the same story.
Right.
Let's see. The variety of wrestling at WrestlingCon. Before we get into Wildcat, there are other wrestling things. I know Impact has something over there with Lucha Underground. That's on Saturday night. House of Hardcore has a match thing on maybe Friday afternoon. The uh, the Bailey's parents, not Bailey,
Paige.
Paige's parents federation has a show. I forget what their group is called. There's a bunch of different events. Do you see yourself going to any of those events?
Um, maybe so. I don't see myself going to like Impact Wrestling, but like Lucha, that could be fun.
Well, it's Impact versus Lucha.
Oh, so you have to. Okay, so no, I'm not
It's-
gonna go to that.
Well, what it is they have like 5 matches lined up right now, and it's pretty much like the champion from
that's
Impact versus the champion of Lucha, or the tag champs of Lucha versus the tag champs of Impact.
I mean, that's a cool idea, but that is the Saturday night show, and I think I'm going to go to the Ring of Honor show. So, yeah, so I won't be going to that one.
So you're looking at going to the Ring of Honor show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be at UNO Lakefront Arena.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what tickets are going for, or if they're sold out, or whatever. I haven't gotten a chance to look that far into that show yet, but it does look like it's a pretty built up mat or card.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Cody versus Kenny Omega,
Yeah, that's going to be big.
Dalton Castle versus Marty Scurley. Dalton Castle's awesome.
I haven't seen it. I've heard about him, but I've never seen him wrestle.
Yeah, he's awesome. Adam Page. That's another big one. The Briscoes. I think last time you got to go
Yeah,
to the Ring
those
of
some
Honor.
wild guys.
And you said that they made the show for you.
Yeah.
And to see them facing, it could be my mom and Jay Lethal, and just seeing Jay Lethal on that match card alone.
Right. Now, what about the tag team? I don't see them on here, but I thought they would be on the card. Shoot, I'm drawing blank right now. They're in the Bullet Club. Shoot, why can't I think of their name?
Yeah. Well, I thought that was
The Young Bucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Young Bucks.
I thought that they were part of like Social Uncensored or one of these groups.
I don't know.
I gotta go back and look.
But yeah, overall, I think Ring of Honor is going to be a really good show.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see. That may be one of the events that I try and hit up.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Hall of Fame, you're probably gonna skip out to go to
Right.
Ring of Honor.
Yes.
We talked about something to wrestle. We're going to that for sure.
Yes, we have our tickets for that.
Wildcat, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. We have tickets for that.
And that's on the Thursday.
That's on Thursday to
Okay.
start everything off.
Cool.
I don't know if they have any tickets available yet still. But I have to imagine that if they do, the tickets are getting very scarce. Because looking at the lineup that Wildcat had versus the other independents that are fighting at that,
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that Wildcat has the strongest card out of everyone. Would y'all all agree?
Yeah,
with that? I mean,
looking
besides our knowledge of the internal Wildcat guys, they have a lot of traveling talent, shall we say, that are pretty big names. I mean, one match alone has like 4 huge names in it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at you want to go over Wildcat now, or do you?
Let me just.
It's
take a
completely
quick
up to
look
you.
Here. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Because I'm just looking like what you're saying, big name wise. Wildcat, like you said, we all know. We go to all the shows around here. We know the independent guys, but then you also have Shane Hurricane Helms. You got the Hurricane there. You got Bob Hiley, Billy Gunn, Stevie Richards. I mean, that's big
Yeah.
names right there.
Jerry Lynn, who's going to be
Oh
special
yeah,
reffing.
Jerry Lynn as well.
Let's see. Roy and Ricky Knight Jr.
Mm.
That is Paige's dad and
Yeah.
brother.
Okay.
I don't know about your exact wording. I don't know. I'd like to just take a break because I need to wake up a bit before we start talking about Wildcat. I want to
Okay.
get up and walk around, smoke a cigarette.
All right. Well, stay tuned. We're going to be back in just a few minutes with more about Wildcat.
Perfect.
I mean, that's all we had left, right?
Yeah.